Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Action Coach and the Model Review. Today we're going to touch on the different things that are part of our core service offering to the marketplace and the different price points that each one addresses. So as you look at the ladder, we're going to start with Growth Club. Growth Club is a once a quarter planning day, and I like to think of it from a General Motors perspective as our Chevy. So once a quarter, we get business owners together. For our clients, it becomes the coaching template for the next 90 days. For non-clients, it becomes a small micro business plan that they can work on to move their business forward over the next quarter. And by the end of that day, typically business owners are really interested in what we do, or they never want to see us again. And both of those are good. For those that are not open to new ideas, that are not open to working on their business, we have nothing to offer them. And so it's better that they go and try to run their business on their own. For those that enjoy the day, that enjoy having some external disciplines and accountability, that enjoy improving their skill set, those are the kind of people that make great clients for us. Next up is Profit Club. And Profit Club is like a mastermind group straight out of Think and Grow Rich. Typically, it'll have anywhere from 8 to 15 people in it. And it's not really a networking group. There are plenty of those in the marketplace. This is more geared towards an opening discussion by the coach around education. The bulk of the meeting then becomes peer-to-peer advising. And in the last part of the meeting, typically for those that are in Growth Club, it's kind of a check-in to see if there are any questions on the strategy. And I love to see coaches bundle Profit Club and Growth Club together. Business Rich is a 2-day workshop, typically done on a Friday and Saturday, and I've always thought of it as Entrepreneurship 101, where we're going to do 70% of the teaching, 30% of the time the participants will be interacting with each other and also doing some exercises on their own. And by the time Business Rich is over, we typically will include Growth Club so that now they've got a bunch of knowledge, they can then put that knowledge into practice by making a great plan. Action Club takes the business rich content and spreads it out into 6 sessions over a 3-month window. And typically between the sessions, there's homework and reading for the clients to do, as well as a check-in from the coach to make sure everything's coming along. And so if Business Rich is a weekend crash course, think of Action Club as going to summer school, where there's quite a bit of homework, there's some check-in by the coaches, and really, this is the first feel for what would it be like to have a consistent schedule, a consistent meeting with a coach, things of that nature. And the last one, of course, is our mentoring, where we work with business owners either every week or every other week over the course of 1 to 2 years. And it really comes in 3 flavors. There is Bronze, which is working with the owner twice a month. There is Silver, working with the owner every week. And then there's Gold, which is really working with the owner and somebody else from their organization. And those price points can range anywhere from $995 a month up to $3,000 to $4,000 a month, depending on the program, and in some cases, the size of the business that we're working with. So if you look at the ladder, the key is to have 3 price points available. You need to have your levy so that everybody can say yes to it. I believe you need to have something at that $1,000 all in. So whether that's Profit Club or Business Rich, whatever will serve your market the best. And then, of course, we have coaching anywhere from $1,000 a month up to $3,000 to $4,000 a month. This has been the core product offering for Action Coach for a long time and continues to be where the majority of the revenue comes from for coaches, especially during those first 2 to 3 years. So once you've got a successful business coaching practice in place, there will be some other options for you to expand the services that we offer to the marketplace. So I've always thought of that as Business Coaching Plus. We've got a valuation tool. We've got a robust business planning model to generate that 5 to 7 year long-term plan for a business that could be used to raise capital or to find partners. We have a variety of assessments that we can do to attack that a little bit larger market. We partner with Dr. Tony Alessandro in that regard. Great recurring revenue for coaches. Profits Plus is a bookkeeping organization. Engage and Grow is about team engagement in larger companies. So it's 360 evaluations. It's a little bit more towards executive coaching than traditional business coaching. but it's really about making sure that within the team, everyone is pulling in the same direction. I Love Marketing is a company out of the UK that really focuses on social media, website, SEO, what I would think of as that digital marketing element. We've got something with Marshall Goldsmith, which is a hybrid between business coaching and executive coaching. We call it profits or pulling profits. It's also with Monty Wyatt, who's a coach in Iowa, and it's a collaboration effort that addresses that $10 to $50 million market, which has got a lot of upside for business coaches. And the last one is Empire Business Brokers. This is a business brokerage house that we've taken an investment with, and we see a lot of coaches that have clients that are ready to sell the business. The team's not interested, the children aren't interested, and so we have to be able to take it to the marketplace. And if we're going to take our clients to the marketplace, we may as well do it as a business broker as well. Again, the most important thing is to get 10 to 15 clients as a traditional business coach. Then if you'd like to add other streams of revenue, expand your market offering, I love the idea, but until you have 10 to 15 clients, these are all bright, shiny objects that I would ask you to avoid. And then finally, the methodology that we use to coach clients. So we call it the 6 steps to massive results, and you'll see that both my Purdue Boilermakers and Wake Forest Demon Deacons are represented from a color perspective. I've always thought of business coaching as a boat on a river where the current of the river is pulling the business owner towards fewer hours as well as more money. And we are going to go from bank to pick up what we need to make sure we help them accomplish their goals. And I would contrast for you as a train on the track that makes the same stop in the same sequence for every customer. The reason I haven't seen the train on the track be successful is because there are things that drive the business owner crazy today that we want to make progress on to relieve some of the pressure that they've been under. And that's what those rocks are. So if you look at the bottom on the right-hand side, the rocks are attacking the things that have been driving the business owner the craziest, the longest. Could be something around cash flow. Could be somebody on the team. Could be the fact that they've gone from working 40 to 80 hours a week without any marketable improvement. Whatever it is, we want to attack it first. And it's interesting, when you ask a business owner what challenges them, bothers them, keeps them up at night, they know exactly what it is. I would compare that to if you ask a spouse something that drives them crazy about their spouse, their response is not typically, what a great question, let me get back to you. They typically know what it is. Business owners are no different. So we want to go after the rocks, and we also want to have an alignment. When we bring on a customer, a new client, we're going to spend 3 or 4 hours with them to make sure that we understand where they're trying to go. And that's what the alignment's all about. Now, to do an effective one, the business owner has to understand where they're trying to go as well. So it's not only aligning us with them, it's aligning them with themselves or them with their business partner. I'll always remember my first ever alignment. It was a job shop, and I sat down with the business owner, and there were 2 of them, and I said, all right, guys, when would you like to exit the business? One guy said 3 years, the other guy said never. They looked at each other and said, what are you talking about? And so we had to change our coaching game plan because these guys were not on the same page as to what the business was going to look like long term. If there aren't business partners, we're going to bring the spouses in for part of the alignment. And we maybe even bring in some of the key people on the team for the alignment, because when it is over, we want to make sure that everyone in the business is pulling in the same direction. a little bit like the Finding Nemo, where the just keep swimming and the tunas pull the net off the boat. They're able to do that because they're all moving in the same direction. And if you have different elements of the business moving in different directions, it's kind of like rowing a boat where people are not in sync with the paddles. The boat doesn't move and ultimately can get pulled apart. Once the alignment's over and we're making some progress on the rocks, we're going to jump into mastery. And mastery is all about the four walls. We're going to look at the cash flow, efficiencies, and capacity. We're going to look at the sales process and start to document how do we do receivables and payables. We are going to look at the infrastructure to make sure that we're able to handle an increase in sales if that's what the business owner is after, right? If we're really good at what we do and we're full all the time, increased sales is not going to help us, right? We're also going to look at where the owner is spending their time to make sure they're doing owner activity and not $8 or $9 an hour high school activity. And at the end of mastery, we're going to start looking at the customer base to stratify who are the customers that we love and who are the ones that we'd love to introduce to somebody else. And we're going to use that knowledge to move from mastery to niche. So to give you a feel for time, mastery could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And then we move into niche, and niche is all about popping the revenue number. So it's sales process, sales training, lots of marketing, and lots of testing and measuring. However, we're going to do it now with strategies that we know work from a marketing perspective, towards the kind of clients that we'd love to have and have more of their business. And also in products and services that make us money. Now, the increase in sales will put strain on the systems within the business. And so leverage is all about looking at those routine activities and making sure that we've got policies, procedures, training guides, all the things that we need to make sure that the business can function consistently. I've always thought of it as franchising the business. Take the routine things and make them super consistent. As you move from leverage to team, we want to make sure that we have the toolkit in place that people are going to follow before we start hiring them. One of the things that many business owners do is they'll go out and hire people before they're ready because they became busy. And what we find is that if you don't have the toolkit and you don't have the procedures and you don't have a good method to train and a good way to hire people, then what will happen is business owners will now have team, but they'll spend more time fixing what they never told the team that they were supposed to do. So first it's process, then it's team. Now, if you look at these four, typically that can take anywhere from a year to 18 months to get through. And oftentimes, after we've gone through it once, because the business is very different now, we're going to have to go through it again. Albeit this time maybe with some additional people in the company, maybe the kids are coming into the company, but we'll have to take one more pass through those first four levels because they're all about the tactical operation of the business. When you get to synergy, this is about exit strategy. So you may have a business owner that isn't going to sell it to the team, that doesn't have children that are interested in taking it over, and now it's time to take this to the general market. Right? Beyond synergy is investor. And investors, not all of our clients get here, but when I think of investors, these are entrepreneurs that want to swim in the bigger water where the sharks are a little bit faster and the rewards are greater. So you may have an owner that wants to start an angel investment group. We've got some business owners that we've taken down the business opportunity route on the way to franchising. We've got some that we've taken into different states and different regions of the country, which is a whole different model and a whole different animal than having 1 or 2 stores within your own city. So when I think of the ActionCOACH model and the ActionCOACH process, our systems are designed for the first 4 levels: mastery, niche, leverage, and team. As you get to synergy and investor, that's really where the network comes into play. Because I want to talk to coaches that have built angel investment groups. I don't want to read a book about how to build an angel investment groups. So there's that balance between using the toolkit as it exists, and the toolkit always grows, as well as taking advantage of the network of coaches that are around the world and have worked with different companies in different countries using the same model. One of the things I always come back to is that when you work with the kind of clients that we work with, and again, they're typically 250,000 to 3 to 4 million in revenue. Whether the landscaper is in North Carolina, Georgia, California, or South Island, New Zealand, they are doing the same things. And so the learnings from those clients can be applied across the world. And that's one of the great parts of working with small businesses and working with other coaches, working with the exact same kind of small business in different parts of the world.